So here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Boot Room, the show where we take a look at Town's next game, which is a big one, at Portman Road in League One. Plymouth Argyle come to Town, top of league. Plymouth Argyle. I'm joined by good old Andy Warren as we discuss all things Town going into this one. Andy, I'm saying this a lot in all the videos we're doing. It's a big game in League One. Plymouth Argyle. How are you feeling about it?
I think every time someone says it's a big game, it just gets that bit bigger. But it really is a big game. Not a ticket to be had for this one. First against third in League One. Two teams who will feel like they're good enough to win automatic promotion. Maybe they both will. Maybe one of them won't. This game won't decide that once and for all, but it'll play a big part in it. So it's really one we're all really looking forward to, I'm sure.
Definitely. It's been an exciting week off the pitch with new signings, Stephen Broadhead from Everton, and of course George Hurst coming on loan from Leicester. But on the pitch, it's going to be great. Going to be a great atmosphere at Portman Road. As you said, a sold-out Portman Road. But let's talk about Plymouth then, Andy. Top of the league, Plymouth last year, they came out of nowhere and played really well and missed out on the playoffs. But this year, they have been like a train, winning games, great home record. Of course, they beat us earlier in the season. What's your thoughts on them as a whole?
Yeah, they're a really good team. I think we saw that the first time we went down to Home Park with Ipswich that last season. With Paul Cook's, sorry, not the first time with Ipswich, but the first time we went there with Paul Cook's team last year, we saw that they were a good team. They know what they're doing. They're well drilled. Ryan Lowe was the manager to start with. Stephen Schumacher, his assistant, taking over, and he's continued the good work, if not sort of improved on it. And they're top for a reason. Ultra consistent at home, a winning machine at Home Park, including against Town, as you say, but a few little stumbles on the road here and there. But the recipe that they're cooking up is good enough to have them top. 7 points ahead of Ipswich at the moment. That could be cut to 4 with Town having a game in hand. Should Ipswich win at the weekend? If Plymouth win, it goes to 10. That's a big gap. So interesting to see how they play this one, because a point's fine for them on the road, I would say. A point is fine for Ipswich, ultimately, because this won't decide anything. But 3 points for Town would be absolutely massive. So really looking forward to a battle between two really top teams at this level.
Yeah, definitely. I've got some good players. Of course, Morden Wickettar has been recalled. Of course, interest from Town as always. But let's talk about their team as a whole. James Wilson is the big talking point because he's a former Town player and he's going to be captain this weekend. Joe Edwards got sent off against Bolton. But yeah, James Wilson, I always liked him as a player as well.
Yeah, ultra solid, quick, good positionally. The fact that he was moved on and Toto Enciala was kept on during that big demolition summer was a head scratcher. It didn't make sense, and I think while obviously Ipswich have rebuilt the squad and we're pleased with the way they've done that and we're pleased with the players that they've brought in, I think James Wilson maybe could have been a bit of a calming influence potentially at the very start of Paul Cook's first season in charge. Maybe. Regardless of what he could or couldn't have done at Ipswich, he's gone on to be a very solid member of the Plymouth team on the right side of the central defence. And he's solid. That is what he is and what he always will be. You mentioned Morgan Whittaker there. They have obviously lost him, but they have moved to replace him as well. They signed Callum Wright from Blackpool, who looks like the man-for-man replacement there. But not just Morgan Whittaker, they're missing Finn Azaz as well, who's still not back fully from the injury he suffered earlier in the season. So that's their two number 10s, really. Their two first-choice number 10s no longer here. Danny Mayer is a good replacement in there. Doesn't bring the same attacking numbers as Azaz and Whittaker. I'd maybe liken Mayer to Shawnee Aluko in some ways. A very good player. Doesn't necessarily have the high numbers, which is what you want these days. But they've got options. They've got good players. The systems between the two teams are similar. And they've got strikers who have scored goals all season long. So threats from Plymouth for sure.
Definitely. I'm going to quickly put you on the spot here. I won't ask you who is the better goalkeeper, but of course, both teams have got very good goalkeepers. Both Plymouth graduates. Of course, Christian came through the youth academy at Plymouth, and Michael Cooper, who is a fantastic goalie. Last year, he proved it. This year, he's proven it even more. What's your thoughts on them as a goalkeeper enthusiast? What's your thoughts on both of them?
I think they're clearly the two best goalkeepers in the division. And I'm sure that really neither sets of coaches or fans would swap one for the other. They wouldn't swap the one that they have. Obviously, you see a lot more of Christian Walton. He's a very, very, very good goalkeeper at this level. Maybe a slight dip in form in the last month or so compared to the extremely high standards he's set previously. I don't watch anywhere near enough of Cooper to be able to compare them. But if you're asking me, would I swap? The answer would be no to that question, and I'm sure the coaches would tell you the same. Both teams in really good hands there.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be hard to beat those two. And let's go on to the town team then, Andy. Let's talk quickly about Nathan Broadhead and George Hurst. Very good signings indeed. Could you see them possibly starting, and definitely they'll take part in the game, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they didn't both get on the pitch. Will they start though? My gut feeling is that both will be on the bench. Town don't need them necessarily straight into the starting 11. They've got good players in those positions, but if it was me, I would be seriously considering starting with Broadhead from the left side, dovetailing with Harness. One plays an hour, one plays half an hour, which I think is the pattern that we'll get used to with certain players in certain positions. Freddie Ladapo starts in my mind, but nailed on. He was brilliant last weekend. You have to let him go again after that, so that's not up for debate for me. Although you never know. But Hurst to come on in the second half, but Broadhead, I'd be seriously considering a start for Nathan Broadhead from that left-hand side, getting nice and tight. Leif Davis going outside him, Broadhead tight and attacking the box from the left. Gut feeling is it'll probably be from the bench, though.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. Really excited. Let's talk about the team then, Andy, as a whole. The 1 to 11. Connor Chaplin, congratulations to him, of course, winning the League One Player of the Month. I can't remember the last time. Have you got that stat anywhere, Andy? Last time a player won an award?
Nobody's ever won it in League One for
Ooh.
Ipswich, so it goes back beyond the relegation, and certainly nobody was winning it in 2018-19. I don't know. Maybe you're going back to Daryl Murphy
Yeah.
potentially. I know he won one at one point. You might be going back that far to find an Ipswich player that won a Player of the Month award. But it certainly hasn't happened in League One, which is maybe a bit of a surprise given given how well Ipswich have started two of those seasons. No, some manager awards in there. I think Paul Lambert won a couple, but nothing for the players.
No, but yeah, I think well deserved for his month of December. Some good goals, some good performances, got a few assists as well. But let's talk about the team, Andy. Rattle out your 1 to 11. Who's starting? Who's going to make an impact in this game?
I think it's quite a simple set lineup. If I'm honest, it'll be fitness permitting, and it does seem like all of the illness that was in the camp has been got rid of as good as. So a pretty simple Walton in goal, Donatian, Wolfenden, Burgess, Davis, Morsey Evans in midfield, Burns on the right, Chaplin in attack. I personally would go Broadhead, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was Harness, and then Ladapo. So fairly straightforward, I think.
Nice one, like that. And yeah, it's good to see all the players are just about got over the illness. And I think we're all good as well in our camp, aren't we, Andy? I know Stu had a little bit of a sniffles, you had a bit of a cough, but are you all good?
Yeah, Yeah, the important thing is we're ready to go.
Yeah,
So yeah, all is well. Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, mate, I'm buzzing for this. Tomorrow is going to be, yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. What sort of game, Andy, are you expecting then? Plymouth, Ipswich Town, it should be a good, entertaining game. The game at home park early in the season, which was on Sky, was an entertaining game. We took the lead, but then they, of course, scored two very good goals. But yeah, what are you expecting for this weekend?
Similar. I'd hope for similar. A game of battles. I think I'm looking forward to Wes Burns and Bali Mumba, which should happen on one flank. I think Mumba played on the right last week, but it sounds like he's heading back to the left, which means he'll be on the same side as Wes Burns. Midfield will be a battle. There's Jay Matete, who they have signed recently on loan from Sunderland, well known to Ipswich fans. He's a really good game for Fleetwood down here. He could come into the centre of midfield where I would expect Morsey and Evans to be dominant. I think that's a real strength for Ipswich. Matete might change that a little. and then just looking forward to seeing how these systems work. I'm looking forward to seeing Plymouth and what they do. We know what Town will do. They'll want to keep the ball. They'll want to stretch Plymouth, move them around the pitch, and try and create that way. What Plymouth do, I don't know. Could they be a little more compact, a little tighter? Given that they're kind of coming in with the upper hand, who knows? But either way, it should be a fascinating contest. I'm really looking forward to seeing which way it goes.
Rookie move, ladies and gentlemen. Rookie move. Muted myself and spoke. But Andy, to end the boot room, another great show. Prediction time, my friends. What do you reckon then? Are Town going to come on top? Can they beat Plymouth? They beat Plymouth last season at Portman Road, a 1-0 win. Sam Morsey scored an early goal. Hopefully the same will happen this time. A great atmosphere, I'm sure. Your thoughts?
They beat Plymouth the year before that as well, 1-0. Troy Parrott. Does that run of 1-0s continue? I think it's going to be tight, but I'm going to go for another Ipswich win, 2-1, a complete reverse of what happened at Home Park earlier in the season. Could there be an impact substitute from a new signing to make something happen? You never know. George Hurst with the number 27 shirt at his back, once worn by Marcus Stewart, who himself made his debut against a real promotion rival. Brilliant atmosphere at Portman Road, and Marcus Stewart himself is going to be sat in the front row of the director's box to watch it all. Could that happen again? That's the romantic thing. But either way, I think 2-1 Ipswich. 2-1 Ipswich for me. Should be a cracker.
Nice one, man. I've gone with the same scoreline, and yeah, I love to see a debut goal, a late winner, or something like that. It's going to be a great atmosphere. If you're going to the game, enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not, follow the game with us as always, and we'll see you in the next boot room. Bye bye for now.